Hi, this is Michael Jones, Chairman and CEO of Caravel Concepts. Welcome to Market Insights, our weekly commentary on political and economic events and our assessment of how they may impact financial markets. Let's get started. What a week we have been having. The week started with the incredible news that there was a 90% efficacy rate for the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, and markets exploded higher on the news. And we end the week with record-shattering new cases of COVID-19 and increasing fears of what we're going to go through before those vaccines actually get approved and injected into people's arms. We've also had another week of drama on the political front. And as we boil all this down into an assessment of where we're going forward, it feels still like good times are ahead. So let's talk about the COVID situation first. Markets are forward-looking discounting machines. And the efficacy of the Pfizer vaccine means that as the market thinks 6, 9, 12 months forward, it can get increasingly confident that COVID-19 will be less of a headwind for the global economy. As we look to the political front, I think the market also finds an awful lot to be excited about. And the reason for that is twofold. One is the short-term stimulus expectations that I think the market is building in. Joe Biden won the election, but the Republicans have retained control of the Senate. We've always maintained that was the Goldilocks scenario for financial markets because it means that they probably get stimulus, but they don't get the big tax increases that are a part of the Democratic platform. But I think we may be, as we learn more and more about this election, and we see some of the exit poll data, I think markets are even more optimistic about what the election results may mean for a year, 2, 3 years out. Because, and I need to preface this with something really important, don't get mad at me, but everybody that wears their Feel the Burn t-shirt and attended all of Bernie's rallies and are just so excited about all the things that he's been talking about and standing for, and all the people that wear the red MAGA hats and go to the Trump rallies and chump and cheer and are so excited about everything that he stands for, I have bad news for you. You don't determine who wins elections. The people who determine who win the elections are the people who are kind of in the middle. We can argue whether it's 5% or 10%, but it's those people who can swing over to the left or the right depending upon how they feel about things. And the message from this election, in my opinion, is that those people in the middle are not very happy with either of the extremes. The red MAGA hat wearers or the Feel the Burn, the people who determine the elections, those folks in the middle, they rejected both of those camps. They looked at Trump and what he says and how he conducted himself in office, and they said, I think we want something different. But then they also looked at defund the police, socialism, and some of the more extreme things that were talked about on the Democratic side, and almost universally, whether you're talking about the Senate and the House candidates running on those kinds of platforms, or you're talking about the ballot initiatives for in California and so forth, almost universally that leftist agenda failed. And what the middle segment of America seems to be sending to Washington is a message of learn to work together, or we're going to take it out on you again at the next election. Learn to find compromises, and we don't want these extreme, divisive, negative messages coming from either of the two wings. And I think that message, as divided as the country has been, as difficult as the rhetoric has been and continues to be, I think markets are starting to anticipate that Washington may actually get something done in this new Congress and this new administration. Because the folks who are going to determine whether Joe Biden or Joe Biden's designated successor is the next president, and the folks who are going to determine who controls the Senate, not the folks over with the field of burn or the MAGA hats, but those folks in the middle, that's what they're demanding. And they express that demand in unequivocal terms during this election. And for financial markets, that's a really good thing. Thanks for watching our Market Insights video. We hope you found it informative. If you'd like to see more of our research, you can check it out on our website, caravelconcepts.com, or you can subscribe at the link below. Thanks.